I hate to actually admit this, but I'm beginning to believe, or maybe this is something I've always agreed to, but I don't like it. And that is to blame ourselves for our own emotions. The reason why I don't like this is because, some people just don't treat other people right, or are just abusive or manipulative, disrespectful. They don't care, stuff like that. How do you not blame them? Well, this is what I'm starting to try to understand, that although they are a problem and although they should be dealt with, or at least, within the context of the situation, understand, should you even get involved? That's number one. But, I think more times than not, we could realize we should, or we could. And, something could be done about most situations. And then there are situations you should just back off and stay out of and know the difference, regardless of how hurt you are, because you don't want to be stupid. But I think when we are really hurt or bothered by people, we want to say something or we argue back, it's ourselves not being able to actually respect ourselves and in essence love ourselves. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to force someone to be respectful. We're trying to force someone to care about us. But really what we're doing is we're trying to force ourselves to care about ourselves. Because when we yell and we argue and we debate and we're condescending, we're disrespectful, and we're a lot of the times doing what they're doing, or at least some variation of it. But, the real reason why this is happening is because it's us trying to stand up for ourselves. If you could stand up for yourself respectfully, if you could stand up with yourself with some dignity and honor, to think about that, how different would you come across? How much easier would this be? And in addition, you'd realize, to not get involved is to also realize, there's really no room for improvement for the other person to grow, because it really comes down to growth and being able to listen and care about that and be patient and try to understand and want to work on yourselves. But how is somebody going to be receptive to that if you're all into their stuff? That's besides the point, because sometimes it does feel good to vent and get it out and get it back and get even and stuff. But I think the bottom line is, if we start to look closer at a lot of this, you'll realize that you're unable to actually stand your ground in a respectful way. Think about that. I'm not saying be kind. I'm not saying have a kind voice. I'm not saying be nasty and mean. What I'm saying is just be assertive. That's disrespectful. That can't happen again. That's unappreciative. I don't like, your tone of voice, or why would you say that to me? I don't understand. I don't agree. And, that's not okay. It's just not, there are ways to be in charge. It's not a matter of being in charge with another. Of course, those could be byproducts if need be, but the real point is to be in charge of ourselves. It's not a matter of trying to be in charge of what we say or how we say it, although that's important. But again, those are byproducts of how we care about how we can put ourselves out there of saying, that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. That's really all it comes down to. The bottom line is, if you were okay with it, quite simply, I mean, not 100% with this, but the point is, when we're okay with things, we don't really say anything. We don't get involved, And again, when we're not okay with things, sometimes we say nothing also. But what I'm trying to say is, when things are smooth, easy going, it's a good environment, you're feeling good, why would you say anything that's going to, have to so-called stand up for yourself? You wouldn't. But that's the whole thing. We're not feeling okay in these situations, so it's difficult to be okay about the situation. But I'm not saying be okay about the situation. I'm saying be okay with yourself, because when you're okay with yourself, you're not okay with other things. And in a way, you're not okay with how you feel. But you see, it starts with being okay with yourself. When that's in place, everything else falls into place as it will. And in a way, as it should, being a reflection or being a mirror off of how you start being there for yourself in these situations.